So hello everyone, for today's video we are going to talk about ethnocentrism and relativism. So first, what is ethnocentrism? It is judging another culture solely by the values and standards of one's own culture. So the other term for ethnocentrism is xenophobia. So an eccentric person feels that his or her own nation or group is the cultural center of the world. Ethnocentric individuals judge other groups relative to their own ethnic group or culture, especially with concern for language, behavior, customs, and religion. This ethnic distinction and subdivisions serve to define each ethnicity's unique cultural identity. Next is technical name for the views of things in which one's own group is the center of everything and others are scaled and rated with reference to it. So this is Williams G. Sommer for ethnocentrism, and he further characterized it as often leading to pride, vanity, beliefs of one's own group's superiority, and contempt of outsiders. In the study of anthropology, ethnocentric are people born in a particular culture that grow up observing the values and behaviors of the culture will develop a worldview that considers their culture to be the norm. The other term for norm is the standard. Next is the examples of ethnocentrism. So the best example for ethnocentrism is the Ethnocentrism system developed out the idea of the mandate of heaven proliferated by the Chinese philosopher Confucius. According to the mandate of heaven, the Chinese felt to receive divine power that entitled them to exert heavy rule over the citizens, and that they had power over the rest of the world. In fact, the emperor was referred to as the son of heaven, exemplifying the intense control he had over the people. So next is cultural relativism. It is the principle that individual persons' beliefs and activities should be understood by others in terms of that individual's own culture. So that is cultural relativism. It was established as accepted in anthropological research by Franz Boas in the first few decades of the 20th century and later popularized by his students. So this is Franz Boas. So next is the cultural relativism. Cultural relativism was in part a response to Western ethnocentrism. Ethnocentrism may take obvious forms in which one consciously believes that one's people arts are the most beautiful, values the most virtuous, and believes the most truthful. Boas first articulated the idea in 1887. Civilization is not something absolute but is relative, and our ideas and conceptions are true only so far as our civilization goes. However, Boas did not coin the term. He understood culture to include not only certain taste in food, art, and music, or beliefs about religion. He assumed a much broader notion of culture, defined as first, it's the totality of mental and physical reaction and activities that characterize the behavior of individuals composing a social group collectively and individually in relation to their natural environment, to other groups, to members of the group itself, and of each individual to himself. Then this understanding of culture confronts anthropologists with two problems. The first problem is how to escape the unconscious bond of one's own culture, which inevitably bias our perceptions of and reaction to the world. The second problem is how to make sense of unfamiliar culture. So our generalization of this topic is cultural relativism, the viewing of people's behavior from the perspective of their own culture, and ethnocentrism is the tendency to assume that one's own culture and way of life represents the norm or are superior to all others. So that is the topic for today. I hope you've learned something, and thank you so much for listening and for watching the video. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Goodbye.